Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another video. If this is your first time here, hello, welcome to the Dream Fam. My name is Haylee, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 ways to lucid dream. Now there are so many different ways to lucid dream, and I'm sure you can make up some of your own techniques as well. But in this video, I'm going to focus on my favorite ways and the most effective ways that I have found to lucid dream. And the last technique I'm going to give you is my personal favorite and the one that I recommend to all of my clients, so stay tuned for that one. So the first technique I want to talk about today is called wake back to bed. Now, this is a technique that can be used by complete beginners or people that are more experienced within lucid dreaming. So this is a technique that really works for everybody, and it's extremely easy to do this technique. So for this technique, you just want to set your alarm for one of your REM periods, and we go into REM, or rapid eye movement, every 90 minutes, and this is the stage of sleep in which we are dreaming. So we want to target this stage of sleep so we can wake up and do a technique during this time. And it'd be difficult to get lucid in our earlier REM periods because they are so short, so we want to aim for our REM periods that are later in our sleeping cycle. And based off an 8-hour sleeping cycle, we go into REM 5 or 6 times. So the times that I recommend for you is 4.5 hours or 6 hours after sleep. Now, if it takes you 30 minutes to fall asleep, for example, and you want to wake up at your 4.5-hour REM period, you want to take into account the time that it takes you to fall asleep. So I would set your alarm for 5 hours. And if you want to wake up at the 6-hour REM cycle and it takes you 30 minutes to fall asleep, then I would set your alarm for 6.5 hours. Now, once you wake up from your alarm and you are in REM, you want to stay up for a couple of minutes and then you can go back to bed. That's all there is to it. I like to add a little bit more to this technique and actually think about lucid dreaming or repeat an affirmation that I always know when I'm dreaming or something like that as I'm falling asleep, because that will double your chances to actually get lucid because you're thinking about dreaming and lucid dreaming as you're falling asleep. So set your alarm for REM, stay up for a couple minutes, and go back to sleep, and that is the technique. Lucid dreaming is based off carrying conscious awareness into our dreams, so waking up during your sleep cycle sometime and going back to sleep increases your chances of carrying that awareness into your next dream. The second technique I want to talk about is called dream sign induced lucid dreams. Now, once you start getting into dream work and you start writing your dreams down, you're going to be able to see patterns in your dreams that show up. You're going to notice things that you dream about more than once, things that reoccur, or things that are super, super odd and only happen in your dreams. You're going to start to get really familiar with the content of your dreams, and within looking in the content of your dreams, you will start to spot dream signs. Now, dream signs are simply signs that you are dreaming. There are 3 different types of dream signs to be aware of. The first type of dream sign is a thematic dream sign. This is when the theme of your dream is what tells you you're dreaming. So for example, I often dream that I'm back in school, and this is something that reoccurs over and over. And because that is the theme of the dream, there's nothing necessarily odd happening in the dream, just the theme that I'm back in school. That's what tells me I'm dreaming. So if you're back in school in your dream, or you're in a place that you've never been, or something about the theme of the dream is odd, then that is a thematic dream sign. The second type of dream sign is an anomalous dream sign. This is an anomaly within the dream. Maybe you are hanging out with a celebrity in your dream that you've never actually met in waking life. Maybe you see talking animals and flying cars in your dream. Any weird anomaly within your dream, that is considered an anomalous dream sign. The third type of dream sign is a recurring dream sign. This is something that reoccurs in your dreams over and over, and that's what tells you that you are dreaming. So because I often dream that I'm in high school several times a week, and that is also kind of the theme of my dream, you could say that dreaming that I'm in high school is a thematic reoccurring dream sign. It's helpful to know the different types of dream signs that you can experience because it will make it a lot easier when you go through your dreams and actually look for your main dream signs. Now, dream signs can change on a weekly basis, or some may be very consistent for you. And the ones that show up consistently, or at least more than once, are the ones that you'll probably want to use for this technique. In order to get lucid in a dream from a dream sign, you need to become more aware of that dream sign in waking life. We usually see our dream signs in our dreams unconsciously and we don't think anything of it, right? So we want to change that. We want to bring more conscious awareness when we see our dream signs within our dreams. And in order to create that habit in our dreams, we need to start training our brain in waking life to become more aware of our dream signs when we run into them. The main way you can do this is when you're writing your dreams down in the morning, look through your dreams and determine which ones are dream signs. If you can recognize your dream signs once you're writing down your dream in your dream journal, you're more likely to recognize your dream signs the next time you see them in your dreams. When you're writing your dreams down and looking through your dreams, you'll be able to spot your dream signs. Oh, I could have gotten lucid here, I could have gotten lucid here, and automatically you're creating more awareness around your dream signs. Now, if you have a dream sign that is actually possible to see in waking life, when you run into that dream sign, you can ask yourself if what you're experiencing could be a dream. For example, since my biggest dream sign is that I am back in school, anytime I see a school, I drive past a school, I have to go into school, whatever is school related, I will stop and ask myself if this could be a dream. This has allowed me to train my brain that when we see a school, it is a possibility that we are dreaming. So next time I dream of a school, I'm more likely to recognize that dream sign and get lucid. Now, the next technique I want to talk about for inducing lucid dreams is using liminal dreaming to induce a lucid dream. Have you ever just laid down and closed your eyes for a while, but you're still awake and aware, and all of a sudden you start to see colors and flashes of light and maybe little dream images appear? Now, we go through this every single time we are about to fall asleep and when we are coming out of sleep. When we are falling asleep, we go through the hypnagogic state or hypnagogic imagery, and that's where you'll see all those bright colors, flashes of light, and you may see little pieces of dream scenes come and go. This is when you are starting to fall asleep, so we always go through this state before we fall asleep. When we experience this when we are waking up, that's called the hypnopompic state, or hypnopompic imagery is what we will experience, and it's basically the same type of imagery, but we're coming out of sleep. So you could say that liminal dreaming takes place on the edges of sleep, and we can anchor awareness within these states to get lucid. Now, this is basically the same technique as wild or wake-induced lucid dream. You can relax the body and the mind enough, but stay conscious and literally carry your awareness in through sleep and into a dream consciously. And the best way to do this is to practice liminal dreaming. Now, the wild technique is considered more advanced because it requires you to stay conscious as your body moves into sleep. And if you practice liminal dreaming, you'll really get the hang of this pretty quickly. Liminal dreaming is easy to practice because you don't need to be asleep to practice this. You're just seeing how long you can anchor your conscious awareness into a really deep, relaxed state. You still have a little bit of awareness. You can hear what's going on in your physical world, but your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed, and you'll start to see that imagery form naturally once you are kind of relaxed enough. You don't want to try to change the imagery you're seeing. You don't want to try to control the imagery you're seeing, because then it will just kind of go away. You want to just allow it to happen, anchor your conscious awareness, and just see how long you can maintain your awareness as you go deeper into this state. You can almost consider it like a very light state of sleep or a deep meditation, but you're still aware, you can still hear everything that's happening around you, but you are allowing your mind to relax and you're releasing control of what is being created behind your closed eyes. Once you start practicing this, you can start practicing this during your techniques or as you're falling asleep for the night, and see how long you can carry your conscious awareness into sleep, and eventually you will start to reach some really, really cool states of consciousness through practicing liminal dreaming. The next technique I want to talk about is called mild or mnemonic-induced lucid dreaming, and this is a very easy technique as well. Basically, you just want to wake yourself up during REM, again, one of your longer REM periods, and if you remember a dream, once you wake up, you want to write that down. You want to write down your dream with as much detail as possible, and if you didn't wake up directly from a dream, then you can always just refer to your last dream that you had in your dream journal. Pretty much you want to read through this dream over and over and over until you have it pretty much memorized and you can play it in your head. Then once you have this dream memorized, you want to lay back down and you want to rehearse this dream in your mind. You want to rehearse this dream in your mind with as much detail as possible and really make it feel real. But you're going to change one thing about the dream. You're going to reimagine the dream as if you actually got lucid at some point in the dream. So the dream that you just wrote down in your dream journal, you're going to be reimagining that as you're falling asleep and going through that dream in your mind. But at some point in the dream, you're going going to add that something triggered lucidity. So that's the little part that you're going to add in this dream. And you're going to feel the feeling of actually getting lucid. And as you're doing this, you can totally repeat like an affirmation or a mantra like, now I am dreaming, or I am conscious that I am dreaming. But the main piece to this is that you want to rehearse this dream that you just wrote down or that you just read from your dream journal, but add in the part that you actually got lucid. And have fun with that. Really let your imagination go wild with this. At what point in the dream did you get lucid? How did you get lucid? How did it feel to realize you're dreaming? Now you want this to be the last thing that you think about before you fall asleep. So if your mind starts to wander or anything, just bring it back to this dream and bring it back to the feelings that you got when you got lucid in this imagination. As you're imagining it, you just want to let yourself eventually fall asleep and make sure that that is the last thing that you think about, and then it does have a high chance of influencing your next dreams. Especially if you wake up in REM when you do this technique, you will continue going into REM when you fall back asleep, so you could have a dream that appears shortly after falling asleep when doing this technique if you are in REM sleep. Now this is my absolute favorite way to get lucid that I tell everybody about, and this technique is called the Dream-Induced Lucid Dream technique. Now with this technique, you are spontaneously becoming aware that something is odd or off in the dream, which triggers you to realize that you're dreaming. Now because lucid dreaming is based on becoming aware in our dreams, we want to create more awareness in any way that we can so it habitually shows up in our dreams. Anything that we do during the day, if we create it as a habit, will eventually show up in our dreams. This is why if you start talking to a lot of people about lucid dreaming and how excited you are to start lucid dreaming, you start dreaming about talking to other people about lucid dreaming. So if we want to be more aware in our dreams and realize when something is odd or weird, we need to start cultivating that in waking life. The reason why a lot of us don't lucid dream is because a lot of humans live on autopilot. We are used to kind of just coasting through life and being on autopilot, and so that reflects in our dreams. The weirdest stuff can happen in our dreams, and for some reason we don't realize it's a dream. Why is that? Because that's the habit that we've created in waking life. We always assume that we are awake, so because we have a habit of assuming we're awake, we now dream of having that habit of assuming that we're awake. And you see how this could be a little bit detrimental to your lucid dreaming practice. So however you want your dreaming self to show up in your dreams, you need to start doing that in waking life. Throughout the day, get really present and notice what's happening in your surroundings. Notice if there's anything that you didn't notice before. When you're in odd situations or something that is just out of the ordinary, ask yourself, could this be a dream? And how do I know that I'm not dreaming? If we can cultivate more awareness and critical thinking throughout the day, we're going to be activating the part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex that is associated with our sense of self and critical thinking. And this is the exact part of the brain that lights up when we get lucid. So this part of the brain is extremely important for lucid dreaming. And if we can activate this part of the brain more during waking life, we're habitually going to activate it more when we're dreaming. So if we train ourselves to be more aware of our surroundings and critical when something weird happens, we will naturally carry that into our dreams. And this can cause us to spontaneously get lucid when something unexpected or odd happens in our dreams. Now, if you're wanting more information on how you can get more awareness and critical thinking to actually show up in your dreams so you can lucid dream a lot easier, then I definitely recommend checking out my playlist on reality checking, where I go into what reality checks are, how they are absolutely essential for lucid dreaming, and the two main components of reality checks that you need to understand in order for it to actually show up in your dreams and help you consistently lucid dream. So now I want to ask you two questions. What is your favorite way to get lucid that you've tried so far? And what is your biggest dream sign right now? Definitely let me know in the comments, and maybe some of us have the same dream signs. All right, guys, I hope that this information was helpful to you. Let me know what you think down below, and if you have any questions. If you like the content that I create on this channel, make sure to subscribe, and also make sure to check out my second channel, the Lucid Mystic Sleep Music, where I create lucid dreaming and astral projection binaural beat sleep music. I love you guys so much. Thanks again for joining in this video, and as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity.